outside and take the baby's picture.
Oh, I am taking her picture.
Oh, what's the matter, huh? Yeah, come here, go boo-boo. Take a big bubble. Feel real rude and go. Come on, Robert.
Oh, Grace, this, what do you want? It's life. Oh, my battery's
It's life?
Come
Life
on,
is
battery.
great when you're young.
Baby, face me.
Just swing around and wave.
Come on, Bert, because you're heavy.
You want me to hit her for hamburger?
Well, she'll break for you, because
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel it in the chest.
Yeah, no, I don't want you to. Here, I'll take her there.
At least you got back in shape fast, you know?
Yeah, I'm good. Just a few more pounds.
Joe, the camera, Jan.
She is. Hello, Molly. Say I got my first Band-Aid today. Oh, what'd she do? She got all the shots that they get when you're 2 months old. And she has a big Barney Band-Aid on her leg. Like half the size of her leg.
Whose picture have you got there? Grace?
This?
Yeah.
This is your grandmother in the center. That's me, Grace, your cousin on the left, and Rita on the right.
Let me get this display off. How's that, better? What year was that?
1954. September 1954.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit. How old are you? When were you born? We don't care how old you are, because the people are seeing this. We're dead 10 years already.
I was born in 1921. Don't ask me my weight. You can ask me my age, I'll tell you.
1921. What month?
January 29th.
Mm-hmm. Where?
Brooklyn, New York, Butler Street, 145 Butler Street.
45. Yeah, I remember those.
154 was Bergen Street address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where'd you go? PS6?
I went to Nathan Hale Junior High, PS6.
But that was a high school and elementary?
That was a junior high.
What about elementary school?
I started there in kindergarten in the afternoon, because I was 4
In junior high school?
Nathan Hale Junior High, public school number 6.
Oh, that was everything lumped together.
Yes. And I started there when I was 4 years old, and I went in the afternoon because I was only 4. So in a year at 4, I became 5, I went in the morning. I became 6, I went to the first grade. That's 3 years of school already.
So, let's see, that would have been, you were born in what, 27?
21.
21? It was 1925 you started school.
Yeah.
And when did you graduate? Did you go to, in those days, did you go to school to everything there? Junior high school?
From kindergarten, I went to first grade all the way up to 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I went to high school, that was the 3rd year of 5? No, 2nd year of 5.
Yeah.
Just go
That's right.
When you
Singapore,
went to-
when I left junior high school.
yeah.
Okay, what school was
Well,
that?
I got out of high school in 1939.
What school was that?
Well, I went to Girls Commercial to begin with.
Which was located where?
Oh, somewhere near the library. Somewhere near the Brooklyn Library.
Do you have any pictures from that time?
No,
Why not?
because I don't have any. We didn't have a camera in those days. Crying out. Oh boy, what a buster.
Okay, you lived on Butler Street, right?
That's what I said.
With my Lola Jenny, your mother Jenny.
That's right.
And tell me how my mother was married to a Garbarini, and my
Okay, you want to know the
Garbarini- tell me the
situation?
Garbarini-
You want to know why you're my cousin?
right.
Ay, ay, ay. You're my cousin both from your father's side and from your mother's side.
That's why I'm confused.
Okay? Your mother was my mother's sister. Your mother was my mother's sister's daughter. Your father was my father's brother's son. That makes sense? That can
No, no. This was because two brothers married two sisters?
No, no.
Who married what? How did we get this
Wait a minute now. No, two brothers didn't marry two sisters. Two brothers married two sisters in the family, but the two brothers and the two sisters that got married was Rose Barberi and Nina Barberi.
Yeah.
They were sisters.
Yeah,
John Cuneo and Tony Cuneo were brothers.
yeah.
So that's where two brothers married two sisters.
So now how did
Well, now you want a situation or the other. My father and your grandfather
Yeah,
on your father's side were brothers.
yeah.
My,
They were both Garbarinis?
they were both Garbarinis.
Yeah.
My mother and your grandmother on your father's side, on your mother's side, were sisters.
Yeah,
They were Barberis.
yeah.
That's how we're related from both sides. Come on, does that make sense now?
No, but go ahead. So tell me about Butler Street. What do you remember about Butler Street? I remember there was hardly any cars on the block. There were no cars in the
Yeah, there were no
there were
cars.
cars, but I mean,
I used to skate in the street because there were no cars.
I remember they used to shovel the snow and shovel it up and
Used
push
to
it
shovel
down
the
the
horse shit too.
manholes. What did
I
they
used to-
shovel?
I used to go out and pick it up for my grandmother to put in the garden. We had a nice garden.
I remember.
Great fig tree.
When
We
the-
had no cherry trees.
I remember when the horses did that. She told me to get the shovel, and I couldn't do that. Go get the shovel, put it in the
See,
back
I should have
of
had a picture of the bowling alley. Bunch of alley.
Well,
the
it's there
store.
somewhere.
Well, you didn't give me a chance to get everything
all
together.
right,
That shut that thing
we'll
off
hit
for a while.
pause. We'll hit pause.
That's right. Put it on pause. You
All
two
right.
having a good time listening to some this nonsense over here? You're not there.
I can't get this turkey to stop.
Well, that's foolish. You're just wasting space now. I'm through with this talking. Talking about this. Let's see. That's one of the boys I used to play baseball with. Yeah, softball with.
You can't even make that out too well.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, we
Let's
can't
get
get
them
that
out
close.
again. Let's see. Okay. Now we're back to Butler Street, right? Okay. Which picture shall I show you first? Okay, so you can't see nothing there. The street. This was left to right.
Okay. I guess that's me and you and
That's
I call Lala Jenny
That
your
is
mother.
Robert and Jenny and me.
Right.
Yeah, going the wrong way. But anyway. And that was the grocery store on Butler Street, 145.
How long did they have this grocery store?
Man, it was there before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got rid of it in what, 19?
When Sue went in the army.
No, my mother kept it. And I went to Washington. And I think when I come back from Washington, we got rid of it. 42.
Yeah. The war was. I know the war was on. Sue was gone.
Yeah.
Andy had him for a while. Helped a little bit for a while.
No. Andy was working for him.
That's right. He was on the shipyard.
My mother and me for a while, and then of course I went to Washington to work.
Mm-hmm.
I think she held on to it while I went to Washington, but then I come back.
Well, you have no idea who ran it while you were down.
She
in
did.
Washington. She did by herself.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he used to open at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was open to what? It's 8 at night, something like that?
9.
9 o'clock at night.
Maybe we closed it before I went. Oh, we must have closed it before I went, because she came down to Washington with me. She must have gotten rid of it before I went to Washington.
I remember putting the bread out in the morning. Or
Yeah.
bringing it in, I should say.
Bringing it in. And now you see, I remember a picture of the store with the bread out front in a basket, 2 for $5. Now, see, I couldn't find
2
that.
for what?
2 for 5 cents.
Right.
Now, I couldn't find that picture, so I've got a bunch of pictures missing.
Yeah, I remember it being 5, 6, and 7
Yeah.
cents. When there were 2, it must have been a sale or something.
Now, at 145 Butler Street was also 147, because in the back of this picture, all the way back there, if you could see it, there was 2 houses. And that, what you see there on the right, that's the right place to be there,
Yeah.
is the Butcher Alley.
Right.
And the men had a good time every Saturday and Sunday. They were playing for a glass of wine.
And they used to let me keep score.
You kept score?
Yep. On a pegboard. There were 2 type of the bocces that were smooth and the bocces with the line, the cross line on it.
Well, that you can't see at all. Can't see that. That's in front of the store with the
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a
Lorraine
large.
and Joy.
There's a large picture over there that we can probably focus in on.
This one?
Yeah.
See, it's very dark.
Now we got a blonde-haired curly boy here. Who is that?
That's something. That's Sil.
That's
That's
Uncle
when he
Sil.
was 7 years old.
70 years old.
Yeah.
Blonde,
Long
curly
blonde hair. And when he got that cut, his uncle put him out of the yard. Didn't recognize him.
So you're some foreign kid, huh?
That was your grandfather,
Yeah.
his uncle.
Okay, Grace. Now we were talking about Sil. What year was he born? It's your brother, Sil.
July 9th, 1918.
1918. So that photograph we were looking at was made in 1925.
Yeah,
He was 70 years old.
1925.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want to get on tape. So now we know we have dates and we have ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Going back to this hair one here.
That's 1954.
Oh, I'm not too good. 1954. That's Grandma Cuneo in the middle,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And that's Rita, Sil's wife,
Right.
on the photographs, right?
That's great.
And that's you on the left.
On the left.
And that, what year was that? 1952. And that's 1954, right? And I was at Hamilton at that time. I didn't make that wedding.
Right.
Yeah, I was in the service at that time. Okay.
Right.
Okay, now let's see this one. This is Sil, your brother, and this is when he was with the New York Fire Department,
Right.
which was for what, 29 years he had in, something like that?
Is that what it was? I forget.
So we have it on the outside on the plaque,
Yeah.
and that was from shortly after the war, about 1948 he went in, 49.
He came out in 47. He worked about it, what did he say, about a year?
Couple of years in the
He worked
Department
a
of
couple of
San-
years on the sanitation.
Yeah. Okay, now we got everybody in this one, but I don't know if we can see it that good. If I can get it close enough. And let's see, this is Andy Cuneo on the left here. His wife Mary. Is John Cuneo, Dolores, Richard Drewin, Lorraine. Is my dad, Jack Garbarini. His grandma Cuneo. Who's that? That's my mother in the back of her? Yeah,
Yes.
I guess so. That's Ida Garbarini in the back of her.
And Betty's somewhere back there at the very bottom. You can see his tail end behind your mother.
Okay, and that's, what's that? That's Joyce over here.
Yes.
Joyce and Adele,
Is that Adele or Lenore?
and then Lenore. That's Sil and Rita at their wedding.
Right.
And that's, who is that, Eddie?
Yeah, I think Eddie come in there.
Eddie, and there's
lives here.
your brother Andy,
Yeah.
and there's Peggy below him.
Is there somebody below Andy? Between Peggy and Andy?
Yeah, I don't know who that fellow is.
Raymond.
Oh, that's Raymond. And
Oh, the
Raymond's
picture of,
mother is,
Are we on TV? Oh,
yes.
What's that?
Raymond's mother,
Raymond's mother, Mamie, Aunt Mamie.
Mamie.
Yeah.
What's their last names?
Barberry.
Barberry and her sister?
No, that's Eddie's wife. That's Mary.
Okay, and that's Olga and her
Olga
husband
and
Joe, and Giorgio.
And the
And
two
the
guys,
two
I don't know who
unknowns.
they are.
Two unknowns. We gotta have a couple
belong
of
to the other
unknowns.
side of the
All
room,
right.
I think.
Yeah.
If you put a light on.
Is that recording?
Are we bothering you?
Okay, if you can make this out, who is this? Who's the lady?
That is your grandmother's sister, Nina.
Nina.
And that's one of her children, I don't know which. She had 3 boys and 1 girl. That may be the oldest boy.
There's no
No,
date. There's
no,
no dates on
no.
here. When would you think this was from?
Oh gosh, he was
1920. This
I
photograph.
would say he was your mother's age, so
If he was my mother's age and he's that small, that's about 2 years. Mom was born in what, 1905? So this is about 1907. This photograph.
I would say so.
While you're
Bishop
looking
Bob.
for John,
Who's
here's
that?
a picture of Bob.
That's a picture of my Robert. My
Your Bob, right? And he was about how old? What year was he born?
He was born in 1950.
So, and he's about how old in this? No dates on
No
it.
date on it. That picture was taken down in A&S. Is that much I know.
What did you say? He's about 5 there.
I don't think he was 5 yet. I don't think he
4?
was going to school yet.
Right.
Maybe.
Now, when you were married to John during the 1947 Dodgers World Series.
Yeah, you remember that,
Yep.
huh?
I sure do.
Yeah.
And in those days, John was, what was his denomination?
Some Poland.
No, religious-wise.
He's Lutheran.
He was Lutheran. And that, in those days, that was a no-no, right?
That was a no-no.
So you were married, instead of the record church, you were married on the side altar.
In the rectory. Oh, no.
Oh, in the rectory?
Rectory, yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't get inside the church at all. And I had to go up by myself and give the priest, Father McGee, some money for the Pope to okay us to get married in the rectory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember, part of it was my own, I guess it was 1947. I was 14 years old, and I was more interested in the Dodgers than
But
the wedding at
everybody that
time.
was in the house, because I didn't want no party. My mother invited relatives to the house, and had stuff there, and everything was the radio. We didn't have a television. It was not television.
No, it was a radio.
All over there by the radio, listening to the
The Dodgers.
yeah.
So where did you and John go on your honeymoon? Where?
Went to Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Yeah.
It's before they had gambling there.
Oh yeah.
And that's the Atlantic
That's when it
City.
was nice. down
Miss
there.
America was still the big show.
No.
Mhm.
We went there. Our honeymoon was during the Jewish holidays. I carried a fur coat with me because the weather was cold to begin with. And then we got down there. It was sweat like heck because it was Jewish holidays, so the sun came.
Hey John, how long did John work for Social Security? He'd been in the Air Force, in the Army Air Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what? Do you know what years? Well, most of World War II, I guess.
Well, I think he went in at 41. I won't swear to it. And he came out in 46.
Could be 46. You know what he did in the Air Force? The Air Corps in those days? Was he a town operator?
No. He worked in the supply room down in Florida.
Oh, that's right. I think maybe he was at the.
He was down in Miami.
Trying to think of the base down there. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
was it?
Pease or-
No.
I know they used to test equipment down there too. He told me about some of the tests.
No, I can't.
So So then after the war, he went to work, what, Social Security?
Well, he was working for Social Security before.
Oh, prior.
Yeah, but down in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he came back, naturally got his job back, and then he applied to transfer up to Manhattan, up to New York, and he got it. He got transferred to New York.
Where'd you live?
Who?
You and John?
After we got married,
Yes.
we lived in my sister-in-law's apartment for a year
Where was that?
on Butler Street.
Was that on Butler Street or
311
Baltic?
Baltic Street, 311 Baltic Street. I feel like you're interrogating me.
Well, I don't, you know, I don't remember all these details.
And we didn't get an apartment. You know, waiting for an apartment in my mother's house, and she wouldn't put anybody out.
That's right, your mother, well, no, wait, you were next door.
No.
311 was your mother's house.
311.
And were you living in
And
311?
Peggy lived in 311.
Oh, you were sharing the apartment with Peggy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, now I get it.
We took one of the rooms away from the kids
Mm-hmm.
for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally someone moved out and on the third floor, and John and I got the apartment.
And how long did you live there?
And the third floor apartment till about 1952 when Mr. Schutz, the janitor, left us. And I took his apartment down on the first floor.
Mm-hmm. And how long, when did you finally leave Baltic Street?
1959.
1959. Is that when you went to Staten Island?
Yeah.
Got your passport and went to Staten Island?
Yeah. Got the passport and went to
That's
Staten
before
Island.
the Verrazano Bridge was there.
Oh yes, we watched it go up. We used to go down to Fort Wadsworth and watch them build it.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah.
A couple Indians, Mohawk Indians
That's
buried
right.
in there.
Yeah, they put the high wires up or whatever they were. We used to walk on
Yeah.
those things, putting those things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where'd you move? Is that when you moved to Clove?
No, that's when we went up to, we lived on Stratford Road then, in Grimes Hill.
Grimes Hill, Stratford Road.
We lived there for 10 years. Then they tripled our rent or whatever they did, so we moved out. Moved down to Clove Road. And then found out that they had to give the money back to the people that they tripled the rent on. So we were stuck with a nice apartment on Clove Road.
You said you went down to Florida several times with John. You drove down there.
I think the first time we went down by train,
Not by train. How long did that take?
overnight, what is it, 12 to 14 hours, something like that.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And when you drove, what year? Well,
Oh, I don't know what year we drove. We went down a couple of times.
how'd you like Florida?
Well, we always went down in the summertime, so it was always pretty hot. You know? Probably would have been nice in the wintertime, but anyway, that's enough of Florida.
Now, tell me something about what great memories you have with John, and where you went and what you did. You had a good time together, enjoyed life.
Oh, yeah, sure. Our favorite places were New Hampshire, Maine. Well, we used to drive through Vermont. Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. We loved it.
Where Booth Bay?
Booth Bay Harbor.
Say that again.
Booth Bay
Booth,
Harbor.
B-O-O-T-H, is in shoe?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not shoe. It's got an H on it.
Booth, B-O-O, it's in two, both of yous.
Why don't you put your nose in this picture, huh?
Well, you put my nose in, I'll put my nose in the
You know,
picture.
I'm here trying to show
There's
you.
my nose, there's my
You're
nose.
saying you remember my grandmother, your great-grandmother, as being very short. I'm trying
Yeah.
to show you a picture of her, of your great-grandmother and your grandmother together.
You have it there?
Yes, I'm holding it in my hand.
All right, let's see if we
Do
can
you
get
want
on.
to see it?
Yes.
There.
Okay. Boy, I'll tell you, that's... Doggone, why don't people put dates on
Yeah.
pictures? That is a shame that we can't get that.
Well, as near as I can give you to that, we moved away from Cornwall. I was 6, and maybe we went back for another summer or 2. So how old was I when I was 6? It was 1921, and 6 is 1929. 7.
See, we're figuring these things out in our head. This is before calculators and computers, right?
Yeah. I'd say this is about 19. No, it could have been sooner.
You have another photograph there?
Well, this is just your great-grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of out of focus, but very interesting. Same thing, no dates. Where were those pictures taken?
That picture was taken in Cornwall. This one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have a photograph of the house in Cornwall.
Right.
That's a pretty good photograph.
You know, I noticed Bob, if you tilt it up that the light shines on it.
Yeah, right. You got that pretty decent.
And that would be, the person standing there is Uncle John,
Uncle John.
who would be your grandfather's brother, my father's brother.
I remember Uncle John with his high shoes, and he used to let me shine them sometime for, I don't know, 2 cents.
We had many a miserable meal with him in the house.
Grouchy old guy, huh?
Had to count, every bite count to 30. Chew it
Mhm.
for 30.
Yeah, I remember everybody was afraid when Uncle John came in.
Hold this here out to show Mary. See, she wasn't, yeah, Aunt Rose, yeah, your grandmother wasn't very small, short, but she's a little bit shorter than her.
Yeah, well,
But
Grandma
she-
wasn't the tallest. Yeah,
No,
they were
but she
probably
was always-
5'5", 5'6".
No, not that tall.
Not
5'4", 5'3".
5'4", okay.
The other picture I showed you of the other sister, she was tall. She was on the tall side. My mother was on the tall side compared to them. That's all, right?
No, that's on.
That's on it. What else do you want to know now?
I don't know. What do you got? What do you
You've got
got
to show
that's
this
good
picture
there?
to Mary.
All right. Let's get that right now.
September 2nd, 1928. That's your
Oh.
grandmother and me.
How you like
At
that
Roxbury.
little one? Look at that bathing suit. Look at that.
What are
bathing
you
suit.
doing?
I
Beth?
am doing.
Just come over here. Don't worry about that, Beth Ann. Come alongside your grandma.
And this is me when I was 7 years old. See that?
Which side?
God. Right there. Right
Sit
on
on
one
my
side
lap
of
and
it.
hide me.
Put your face in the camera. You see your face over there on the
See
screen?
your face before me.
You're too far.
Okay, that's it. Move
Show
forward.
Hi, Grandma.
That's it. This is Beth Ann, a granddaughter,
This
Grace's
is my
granddaughter.
bratty granddaughter.
Yeah.
How
I'm
old
bad.
were
I'm
you?
very
Born?
bad.
In what year?
1982.
1982. What's your
Speak up.
birthday?
June
Keep your
1st,
face in the mirror and
1982.
thing.
Okay.
Like
And this is
That's too bad.
this is Monday, April the 8th,
So,
1996.
So I'm 13 and
Going
this
up
time, right.
14.
going on
And
14.
you're going to look at this 20 years from now.
Oh, God.
Grandma and I are going to be pushing up daisies, and you're going to say, "Boy, I remember that. That was a long. Look at a funny old camera that he had, or
Oh,
TV."
it's a funny old camera, alright.
And you see these 2 pictures here?
Yes.
This was Bob's grandmother.
Uh-huh.
This was my grandmother. So that makes her your what? Great
Great
grandmother.
grandmother and my great
Aunt.
aunt. See, I can figure this out.
Good,
Okay.
glad you
It's a
can.
picture.
And what's
We had the picture on before.
Oh, okay.
what's the occasion of you being out here?
Easter vacation.
You're in Chicago, right?
And because I feel like visiting my uncle right
Well,
now.
say you're in Chicago. What
I'm
is-
in Chicago.
Well, you're in
With my-
Chicago.
Chicago.
You got a New York
Hey, watch how you
accent.
say that word.
Chicago.
Yeah, well, you're putting a T in there that don't belong in there.
Chicago.
Oh, boy.
And I just treated Uncle Bob and Aunt Mary for dinner.
No, you don't have to say that.
And it was delicious.
And she took us out to dinner. She's fun. You know, I tell you what. The dinner ran us what, about $90, $100, right?
Mhm.
Wait till you see this film.
Mhm.
In 20 years from now, I'll probably run you $200 for that dinner.
That's right. Maybe more.
Yeah.
All right. So get yourself a good job in the meantime, kid.
And don't get married unless he's rich, 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 rich.
Good thing I love you.
You telling them not to marry for money? I mean, not to marry for love, to marry for money?
Money first. Money talks.
All right, we got you on TV.
It's there.
Now, Grace, now that that's all over, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Is that finished?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
it's
still
finished.
on there. You're still filming me.
Was-
Shut it off.
No, it's not fun. So, I mean,
By the way, you know,
What?
she would be your no,
My great-great.
Great.
Yeah.
great grandmother. She's Beth Ann's great. Remember, I'm one. My mother was two. Great grandmother. Whereas Aunt Rose is your grandmother, so it's first grandmother, great grandmother. Okay.
Now, what do we figure? They came over here, and who came in 1888? The Blizzard of
My
88?
father did.
Your father.
My mother was born in 1888. That was this discussion with Syl and I on that other tape you made.
What about Silver Fire Department?
My mother was born 1888. And when she come over here, baby, 1888, 12 years old.
Turn of the century.
12 and 8 is 20. In 1908, my father gave her a locket. Because the date is on the locket.
It's not on a photograph, it's on a locket. That's good. You got the locket yet?
Sure. I don't wear it because I'm afraid to lose it, because it would break my heart if I lose it. But God, if somebody breaks into my house and steals it, I'm dead. I'll really be bad, real bad.
But you have no idea who lived in Philadelphia? That was on my father's side, probably.
No. Maybe on your mother's father's side.
Yeah, that's what I really know.
Maybe on that side, but I can't imagine who.
You know, my dad was born, 1899. And he wanted to live, he died, 5 years ago? 3 years ago. But he was hoping to live until the year 2000.
Really?
So he could say he lived in 3 centuries. 19th, 20th, and 21st century.
Yeah.
Came close.
Yeah, he did.
Came close.
Your great-grandmother, her maiden name was Roncoli.
What?
Roncoli.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. But, you remember the little short Pope?
Yeah. Pope John.
His name was Roncoli.
Yeah.
And if she was dressed in black now, and if you remember what he looked like, you'd swear they were brother and sister.
I mean, probably what? There's some relationship there.
But they weren't brother and sister because she had only one sister. And her other relative, of course, he didn't become Pope until long after she was dead. She died in 1940. But the similarity in looks, they had to be related in some way.
Same name and everything else.
Yeah. I believe the same country kind of too. Although she was raised.
They came from where? The Genoa area?
Well, in the area. I think Ravenna or something like that. What the name for Ravenna would be? Yeah, but she worked in Genoa. God, she must have been 5 years old, going out and taking care of homes. She was only 2 years. She was 2 years old when her mother died. Probably her sister. Probably the mother died in childbirth with her sister. And they were treated roughly.
Well, that's how it was in those days.
Yeah. She went to work very early. All right, that's it?
That's it.
That's it for now. You know,